With over 2,000 pages of documents being filed by Blake Lively this afternoon in her case against Justin Baldoni. There's a lot to go over. There's a ton that we're seeing for the first time that's been unsealed or unredacted, but one of the major questions people have been asking since the inception of all this is, what role did Taylor Swift play? Now, Taylor Swift and Blake Lively, though their friendship status right now is kind of in question, I don't pay too much attention to it. I'm not a Taylor Swift hater or anything like that, but Taylor Swift and Blake Lively were at the time best friends. I believe Taylor was even the godmother to Blake's child or children. And I'm looking at one of these documents where Taylor Swift's role has now been unredacted. I wanted to share that with you guys and get your thoughts. This document is Blake Lively's response to the 56.1 statement of undisputed material facts that Justin Baldoni filed. So basically, they made a list of factual statements, and Blake Lively has to respond as to whether it's, an undisputed statement of fact or if they have something else to say about it. And we have our first mention of Taylor Swift here on page 16. It says, on April 12th, 2023, Lively asked her friend, the world-famous musician Taylor Swift, for help. Referring to Baldoni as this doofus director of my movie, she went on to describe him as a clown who thinks he's a writer now. She asked Swift to endorse the revised script she was proposing, even without having read it. You don't have to read it, of course, is quoting her there. Blake's response to that says, undisputed that the quoted language appears in the text, but disputed that Lively asked Swift to endorse the revised script without having read it. And then they quote here, and I sent Taylor the script on her way to my apartment because Justin was still there, and I asked her to read them. I told her she didn't have to. I didn't want her to feel pressured to do that, but I hoped that she wouldn't. And the Wayfarer parties haven't yet released their unsealed, unredacted versions, so there's going to be some stuff I can't pull up just yet. And I think these text messages are one of them. The next statement says, Swift agreed to do Lively's bidding, texting Lively, I'll do anything for you. Lively and Taylor Swift met with Baldoni at Lively's apartment, where Swift endorsed the revised draft. Afterwards, Lively wrote to Swift, you were so epically heroic today. I recapped every moment to Ryan. I kept remembering stuff. You making shit up about me and lenses, and referring to yourself as my doll. This clown falling for all of it, but also resisting it. You are the world's absolute greatest friend ever. Holy fuck. This clown falling for all of it. Wow. And guess who won't pick up on this probably is like TMZ. And Blake's response to that is, disputed that Swift agreed to do Lively's bidding, met with Baldoni, or endorsed the revised draft, which is not supported by the cited evidence. I don't know because we can't see that yet. Undisputed that the quoted language appears in the cited source, but Lively respectfully refers the court to the cited source for its complete contents. So she's not disputing that she said this. On April 14th, Baldoni told Lively he liked the revised scene. He added that he would have felt that way without Ryan and Taylor. Lively explained that to protect her like the princess in Game of Thrones, Reynolds and Swift serve as her dragons. And the response to that one says, undisputed that the language appears. Lively respectfully refers the court to the full documents, including that we all benefit from her relationship with Reynolds and Swift, and you will too, I can promise you. Yeah, that doesn't make me feel better about that. Okay, we're going down to 130 here. Lively's subsequent conduct confirms Baldoni's account. In her protections demands, she objected to Baldoni referring to personal times that physical consent was not given in sexual acts, either as the abuser or the abused. In a subsequent text exchange with Taylor Swift, Lively linked Baldoni's comment about consent to an article in which Baldoni disclosed his experience as a victim of sexual abuse to the press. So Lively's response here is that she's not disputing that she objected to his referring to that and that she shared the article with Taylor Swift. They're disputing that her subsequent conduct confirms Baldoni's account to the extent that it's inconsistent with the testimony of Lively's security detail, that during an April 2023 car ride from New York to New Jersey with Lively, Baldoni divulged to Lively that women had forced themselves on him and he had forced himself on women and did so even when they said no or did not consent. Again, this is heavily disputed, both sides. Number 229 said during the ensuing weeks, Lively made extensive edits to the film, trailer, and poster. And then here on plaintiff's response, 229 says, the assertion that Lively made extensive edits is argumentative and unsupported. Let's see. They're talking about text messages here. There's a text from Lively to Swift asking Swift to watch the trailer. Neither exhibit shows that she performed or directed extensive edits to any of these material. Okay. Number 230, Lively told famous friends, including Matt Damon, Lucy Damon, and Ben Affleck, that she rewrote the script. I directed every actor. She also did not hesitate to disparage Baldoni among her Hollywood crowd, describing him to Ben Affleck, for example, as a chaotic clown. You can tell she was super hateful towards him. I ended up rewriting and restructuring the entire script. I also ended up having to direct the movie via the chaotic clown director slash actor slash producer slash financier slash studio head at the center. And her response to that is undisputed that the quoted language appears in the exhibits. 231, Lively urged Hoover, as well as her famous friends, including Matt Damon, Lucy Damon, Ben Affleck, Bradley Cooper, and Taylor Swift, to support her version of the film over Baldoni's. For instance, in April 26 messages, Lively and Swift discussed a plan to use Swift's song in the film's trailer. Swift wrote, "If Justin was strategic, he would be like, no Taylor Swift in the trailer because that gives you more power over the film. That's your ally, not his." Lively responded, "You are so right. He should have run from your music. How stupid. This was his only shot at having the appearance of an upper hand." This is so bad. On or about August 2024, Baldoni's former publicist, Stephanie Jones, and Lively connected through a mutual acquaintance to share and discuss information that Stephanie Jones had found on Abel's personal phone. Wait. Oh, God, they do actually have the proof that she got that from Stephanie Jones without any sort of legal process. And apparently Taylor Swift knew about it because Taylor Swift said, "Can you believe she just called and was like, this PR chick wants to get info to Blake?" Blake's response to that is undisputed. Miss Lively was approached by Ashley Avignon, I don't know how you say that name, who advised Miss Lively that Jones has a phone which contains the most disturbing messages she's ever read in her 20 to 30 plus year career, that Miss Lively deserved to see what had been done to her, and that Jones wanted to share these messages with her. Oh my God, there's stuff in here about Van Zandt that I'm going to go over later tonight. We stream at 8:30 p.m. again, and so we'll be going over this whole thing then. And these things are undisputed. Like these issues with Van Zandt, she's saying undisputed. On December 4th and 5th, 2024, Lively and Taylor Swift privately discussed the forthcoming New York Times article. Swift wrote, "I think this bitch knows something is coming because he's gotten out his tiny violin." They're saying those texts don't support that they're talking about the New York Times article, which it's pretty obvious that they were, but then undisputed that the quoted language appears in the text. Oh my God, this is so bad. Dude, this is so much worse than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to be honest, I did not expect this at all. Holy fuck. And like I said, we don't have the Wayfair documents yet. The unsealed documents released. They have until 1 p.m. tomorrow to do that. But my God, dude, those are so much worse than I thought they were going to be. And those are just little excerpts. That's nuts. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember, there's a whole lot of evidence coming from the Baldoni side that's not out yet. As soon as it is, you'll be hearing from me. I do fly to New York tomorrow from the morning to the afternoon because I'm going to be at that hearing in person on Thursday, the hearing on the motion for summary judgment. I got to go buy a coat after this so that I can not freeze to death in New York. I'm a Florida girl, so I lived in New York for a minute, but I actually moved back the first winter I was there. So yeah, needless to say, I don't have clothes for this. I'm going to go get some. But wow, I'm really disappointed in those messages, to be honest. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of what's behind the scenes because this is just a little bit. Like I said, I'll be streaming again at 8:30 p.m. Eastern to go over some of this stuff with you guys and anything else that may come up in the meantime. Appreciate you being here and all the support. So I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks.